The war in Ukraine is still raging. May 14th, 2026. Phoenix unit, fiber optic FPV drones targeting Russian soldiers across the Donetsk region. Watch how these soldiers react. Some run the moment they hear it. Others raise their rifles and fire at the drone. Automatic weapons against a fast-moving FPV closing in at speed. Some freeze entirely. None of it changes the outcome. No cover, no weapon, no reaction time is enough once a fiber optic drone has locked on. There's no signal to jam, no frequency to disrupt. Just a direct line from the operator to the target. This is what individual soldiers face on this front in 2026. And the footage shows it every time. This soldier knows he's been spotted. He doesn't run, take cover, or raise his weapon. He simply stands still, watching the drone approach. Exhaustion? Shock? Acceptance? Moments later, the FPV drone arrives, and he still doesn't move. Why do you think he chose not to fight back? This time, the soldier confronted by the drone had no weapon at all. The only thing separating him from the FPV drone was a single tree. He circles around it repeatedly, trying to use the trunk as cover, while the drone operator searches for the right angle to attack. Eventually, the operator finds an opening. Moments like this show how vulnerable soldiers on the modern battlefield can become once a drone locks onto their position. This footage begins as a routine reconnaissance flight through the forests of Donetsk, with Magyar's birds operators scanning the tree line for any sign of Russian activity. Then, abandoned equipment spotted on the ground. The operator keeps searching. Moments later, a Russian soldier is found pressed beneath the trees, trying to stay hidden. As the drone closes in, he notices it and quickly raises his weapon. There isn't enough time. Adamaka unit, night operations. Thermal cameras locked on. Russian soldiers moving under the cover of darkness, not knowing that darkness stopped being cover a long time ago on this front. Thermal imaging doesn't need light, it needs heat. And on a cold night, a moving soldier lights up the screen like a signal. Strike after strike through the night. The soldiers on the ground can't identify the direction, can't locate the source, can't organize a response to something they can't see or hear in time. The night shift never stops. When thermal drones operate just as effectively at night as in daylight, does any time of day offer safety on this front anymore? Kostiantynivka, Donetsk Oblast. Russian assault troops gathering inside a building, preparing to push into the city. A Ukrainian Su-27 was already inbound with GBU precision bombs. The building they chose as a staging point became the target. The assault never launched. These moments may be some of the most unusual seen on the front line. A Russian soldier is first spotted hiding in bushes by Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. After noticing the drones overhead, he immediately begins running. As he moves from one hiding place to another, drones repeatedly drop munitions near his position. Somehow, he survives each strike and continues moving. Eventually, the soldier reaches a cemetery. Realizing there is nowhere left to run, he suddenly stops, spreads his arms, and waits as the FPV drone approaches. Moments later, the inevitable happens. This footage comes from the GoPro camera mounted on a Ukrainian soldier's helmet. While moving along a road in a vehicle, the soldiers suddenly come face to face with a Russian FPV drone. They failed to shoot the drone down, and the FPV drone pushed through the obstacles before carrying out the strike. The Ukrainian soldier was seriously wounded in the attack, but managed to survive. Lyman direction, SIGNUM Battalion. Russian forces continue pushing infantry into the sector, supported by artillery, Molnia drones, delivering supplies, and ground robotic systems operating near the line. Heavy armor is rarely seen. The focus is manpower. SIGNUM's response is direct. Strike Russian infantry before assault groups can fully form or reach the front line. Not during the assault, on the approach. This is what modern defensive warfare increasingly looks like. Instead of waiting behind fixed positions, drone units attempt to disrupt attacks before they can even begin. When infantry can be targeted long before reaching the trenches, how much does the traditional defensive line still matter? This footage shows a rare moment. A Ukrainian ground-based robotic system delivering supplies to the front tries to knock a Russian fiber optic FPV drone off its cable. The drone ends up under the robot's wheels. The explosion sets the robot on fire. When a ground robot sacrifices itself to neutralize a drone attack, does this change how you think about the role of autonomous systems on this battlefield? 22nd Mechanized Brigade Star Battalion. 2 Russian soldiers spotted on the Kupyansk-Belgorod direction. An FPV drone strikes. They run, but not far enough. 6 Russian soldiers using abandoned buildings as cover. Located and observed by the Sirius drone battalion of Ukraine's 118th Mechanized Brigade. The operators monitor the position, confirm movement inside, and prepare the strike. FPV drones carrying heavy munitions then move in and hit the structure directly. Fire quickly spreads through the building. No movement is seen afterward. On today's battlefield, abandoned structures may offer concealment from ground fire, but they also become easy reference points for drones watching from above. Zaporizhzhia direction. Ukraine's International Legion Revenge Tactical Group, targeting Russian assault attempts along the defensive line. FPV drone operators are striking Russian infantry before assault groups can fully organize or advance. But the operations do not stop at the front line. Logistics vehicles and supply convoys are also being targeted deep behind the battlefield, reportedly up to 40 kilometers from the contact line. Resupply routes, troop rotations, and rear support positions all come under attack. This is a layered drone strategy, disrupting assaults at the front while simultaneously weakening the logistics sustaining them from behind. When the same unit can pressure both frontline troops and rear supply networks at once, how difficult does it become to maintain offensive operations? The night of May 14th, 4 targets, 4 different regions, all struck before dawn. A Tor air defense system destroyed in Luhansk Oblast, taken out by the Rarog Brigade. A Reddit 2 US communications complex hit in Donetsk. The system that coordinates battlefield communications for Russian units in the sector. The command post and base of the Kyra drone unit struck in Donetsk. Operators, equipment, and infrastructure all in one location. And a communications node eliminated in Zaporizhzhia by the Nemesis Brigade. The Reddit 2 US is one of Russia's primary battlefield communication systems, designed to provide encrypted voice and data links between command posts and frontline units. Hit it, and entire units lose the ability to coordinate, report, and receive orders. RBC Ukraine. 4 strikes, 4 regions. Every target chosen to degrade a different layer of Russia's battlefield system. Air defense, communications, drone operations, coordination infrastructure. When a single night operation simultaneously degrades air defense, communications, and drone command in 4 regions. How much of Russia's battlefield coordination is actually still functioning? Omega Wings unit, and Russian soldiers using every type of shelter available: rooftops, bunkers, reinforced walls. Watch how the drones work through each one. The shelter is identified, the angle is found, the strike follows. What was cover becomes rubble. What was a position becomes a target. This is the systematic logic of drone warfare, not just striking soldiers in the open, but eliminating the structures they retreat into. Once no shelter can be trusted, movement itself becomes the only option. And on this front, movement gets you found. When no shelter survives contact with a drone, where does an army actually hide its soldiers? That's everything for today. May 14th, 2026, day 1541 of this war. 241 combat clashes recorded in the past 24 hours. Pokrovsk saw 36 assaults repelled, Huliapol 32. Russian forces launched 91 airstrikes, 300 two-guided bombs, and over 9,800 kamikaze drones in a single day. Russian total losses have now crossed 1,345,250 personnel. But the headline today is in the air. During Russia's massive 36-hour drone assault on May 13th to 14th, Ukrainian Sting interceptor crews shot down over 300 Shaheds. One crew alone downed 120, breaking the single crew record twice in the same window. Of the 1,567 Russian strike drones launched, 1,362 were neutralized. The low-cost interceptor drone is now an established layer of air defense. On the ground, Ukrainian SOF continued dismantling Russian rear infrastructure overnight. A Tor system in Luhansk, a secure communications complex in Donetsk, a drone command post, and a communications hub in Zaporizhzhia. That's the 13th Russian air defense component destroyed in just 14 days. The ceasefire is over. The drones never stopped. Subscribe for daily Frontline coverage. No agenda, just the facts. See you in the next one.